はい、こんにちは。ディスコエリジウムザ・ファイナルカット。続きをプレイしていきます。そろそろ21時になろうかというところなので、バルコニーの方へ行きましょう。うん。どっちだっけ？こっちでいいよね。うんうん。
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
概念化。フラ4なんだね。概念化か。なんかプラスにできないかな。概念化のシャツ。ジャケット。真っ白。真っ白なジャケット。帽子。こんなもんか。で、道具はこれは、ダメか。よいしょ。これで行ってみよう。
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
28%。
Because
い
you
っ
see
た！
it. Finally. This wall is sublime. Look at it. The shadows. The colors.
この概念的な喜びを瞳に思い切り吸収し、頭の中でイメージをさらに膨らませる。
All the other walls on all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in adoration of this, the uncontested pinnacle of wallcraft, color peeled from the very face of God.
もっとだ。
Oh, Wallfather.
やった。キム、俺はこの壁に何か書こうかと思う。さらなる美を加えるんだ。
Huh?
あ？
He sounds tired of it all. You already have the heavy fuel oil to use as paint. It's red. And Cindy the Skull has a paintbrush. This is on.
ペンキ代わりに使える重油はすでに入手している赤いやつをな。そして、これなんて言うんだろうな。まあ、筆みたいなもんだね。シンディが持っているだろう。やるしかない。キム、あんたが疲れてるのは承知してる。だがもう一度壁を見てくれ。この美しさから栄養をもらうんだ。これ同じことを、概念化と同じこと言おうとしてるな。
Sure.
はいはい。キムはしぶしぶ壁を見上げ、またあなたに視線を戻す。ペンキはすでに持っている。シンディから筆を借りればいいだけだ。これなんて読むんだろうね、本当に。なんかね、これでハケって読むらしい。ペンキはすでに持っている。あとはスカル族のシンディからハケを借りればいいだけだ。
If you must.
あれ、タスクが増えちゃった。キムはため息をつくと、観念した口調で言う。君がどうしてもというのなら。筆が必要。シンディって誰？この人？
Hello again,
シン
officers.
ディだ。
Have you come to admire my mural?
あ、これはあの石炭室に置いてあるベッドはあんたのものか？
Ooh, not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
ちゃんとした家はないのか？
Does anyone in a city like this?
うん。いいところだとは言えないが、あれで我慢するしかないんだろうな。
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
クールだ。他にも聞きたいことがある。
Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
あんたにハケを貸してもらいたい用事ができた。
What for?
アートだよ。アートを生み出すために使いたい。それならいいだろ？
Well, if it's for art. But what kind of art are we talking about?
正直な話、まだ何も思いついてない。でも、そのうちきっと何か降りてくると思
Then you have time to find your own fucking brush.
う。あれ口が悪いな。クール。それならハケなしでやるまでだ。何も問題はない。
You're about to cry internally, aren't you, Piggy? Oh, pathetic. Just give up. Art isn't for you.
概念か。3%。3%きつい。18。で、プラ1で6。いや、どう考えても66出さないとダメなのか。そんなあ。ハケなしでやるってことはあり得るの？あれもう調べらんないこれ。つまりなしだ。ハケなしで絵を描くってことはなしか。いや、厳しいなあ。今のステータスじゃどうにもならないこととかありそうだよね。あと30分どうやって時間潰そう？あの人と会話するか。その前に一旦タスクチェックして、そうだよね、署名を集めなきゃいけないんだよね。それはまあ、置いといて、ジョイスに報告に戻れか。これだな。
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
俺にもそんなコートがあればいいんだかな。この雨のせいで凍えそうだ。
Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic, repels water. Almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. Very sturdy. What I can do for you is answer some questions. Nothing like talking to pass a rainy day.
ところで身分証を見つけたぞ。
By love, you did.
Fast,
そう
observantly,
か。これ
like
で
an electronic printer.
身分証がないとどうのこうのって話あったな。
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois. I am glad to see a man of high qualification. The situation is precarious. What can I help you with, Lieutenant Freighter?
ご用件をどうぞ。
How about you share your information on the lynching, now that you've seen his badge?
The goalposts have moved, Lieutenant. In the absence of the badge, I have informed my employer there will be a probe.
ああ、そっか。身分証があればそのハーブ調査しなくてもよかったのか。まあでもそれによって分かったこともあったからな。
I cannot rescind
そう
that
だそうだ、
promise.
そういう話
To
の
my
流れだっ
knowledge,
た
the
ね。
drivers are still at the roundabout. I will tell you everything I know when you've finished with them.
うん。もっともな言い分だと思う。調査はすぐに終わらせてみせる。
I am glad to hear that. Because let me tell you, we are in dire waters. The sooner the probe is finished, the sooner I can share crucial information with you. Now, is there anything I can do for you in the meanwhile? Tea, perhaps?
環状交差点で運転手たちと話をしてきたぞ。
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
あら。その密偵とやらは具体的にどっから見張ってたんだ？
It doesn't really matter, and I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I'm sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn. I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
The words bloodbath sound cold in her mouth. They taste of iron and strawberries.
今事態を収束させると言ったか？
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, man, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
もう一度教えてくれ。このリンチ事件とストライキはどうつながってる？
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
一時的に信頼を失ったというのは？
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
警護部隊までつけるような状況なのか？
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating.
この3人のうちの1人が吊るされたわけだね。
They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
でもさ、セラミックアーマーに身をまとった人物がこの町に この周辺に3人もいたら、あとの2人すぐ見つかりそうなもんだけど、まだ出会えてないよね。どこにいるんだその人たちは。
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him.
うん。それは我々が聞いた話と
He was taken out behind
一
the
緒だ
whirling in
な。
rags and lynched last Sunday night.
その後はどうなった？
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
今のところ？
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military
なるほど
tribunal
ね。
into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
なるほど。うーん。どうしたもんかな。いやはやなんてこったなかなか芳しくない状況だ。
It's not good. No. My only hope is that you provide a single concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put, if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
ふんふんふん。
The Debarders have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty. These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots. The automatics every 1 or 2 minutes.
As I said, a bloodbath.
うん。まあそうだな。対決は避けられんだろうなだろうね。今のこの話と状況を我々が見てきた状況を鑑みるに、なんかこんな冗談でスルーできるような状況じゃないよね。対決は避けられんだろうな。うん。
It doesn't have to be like this, Lieutenant W. Freighter Dubois.
デュボア警部補長長。
One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
うん。クレネルについてどんなことを知っている？
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients: Saint-Baptiste, Welchman-Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
うーん。こういうことか。要するに任務中に少しばかり大佐が先住民のやり方を模倣ししまったかもしれないわけだ。
I wouldn't go as far as to
減少
use
した。
that term detective.
あ、そういうことね。先住民っていう言葉が良くなかったが。何 何がだ先住民のやり方かで、ちょっともう一歩踏み込んでみる
Yes.
Feels like there's a good response here, but you're not coming up with one. Carry on.
なるほどな。奴らについて他にどんなことを知っている
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources. If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I would be dealing with a group like Crenell.
会社に連絡を入れてもらうことはできないか本社から奴らに手を引くように言ってもらうんだ。
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the
なるほ
field.
どね。
Until they do, it's all
そ
on
っ
us.
か。個人が女性を暴行したと言ったか
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
その運河のそばにいたティーンエイジャーたちは何と言っていた
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
ティーンエイジャーって誰もしかしてあの兄弟
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
クーのたちだとしたらもう最悪だね。
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the
う
lynching.
ーん
Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
その女はどこの誰だ
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
あの吊るされた大佐とやらはあんたの知り合いだったのか
If you mean did I see him alive? Yes. But I did not know him.
うーん奴の名は
Lely,
レ
his
リー
service name, a nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
まずは他のメンバーについて教えてくれ
One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
一人は女性
What would you say was his eye color? The deceased's.
目の色
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let on. She passed.
はあ賢そこまで親しくなかったってことだね
That's all right, man. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions.
Indeed, this matches the dental reconstruction we saw on the body. What else? Nationality? Accent?
他はどうでしょうか国籍や訛りなどは
He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own.
And that seems to corroborate the ethnicity we gave.
うーんあ あと5分だな。とりあえず7番聞こうか。残された時間はあとどれくらいだ？
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob.
いや、
and
のんび
their
りしてていいのかわ
intentions.
かんないね、もうね。
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative. It's a matter of days, not weeks.
残った2人の傭兵たちは今どこにいる？
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
それでも奴らがどこにいるのか知る必要がある。
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
お、服のサイズが合っていなかった。服のサイズが合っていなかった。出会ってるのか？あのホテルにいた二人組？んとりあえず 92% ならいけるね。
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates.
ああ、あれか。はいはいはいはいはい。全然違った。あ、確かに服のサイズ合ってなかったって話あったな。
The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
一人は港湾ゲートのそばにいるサイズの合わない作業服を着たチンピラだろ。あのスト破りのリーダーがそうだ。あんな目立つところに、目立つところっていうか、あんなに目立っていいものなの？もっと隠れてるもんだと思ったよ。
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
でもあれだね。あそこでずっとスト破りとして活動してる間はなんか情報収集なんてできそうもないけどな。刺激を与えるなと。
Ours is keeping the peace.
一人は建物に潜んで環状交差点を見渡してるはずだ。
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
そんなところあるか？
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
他に聞きたいことがある。
I hope I can answer it better.
ないか。ない。
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
ああ、タトゥー聞きたい。タトゥー聞きたい。聞こ
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
う。
For about half a minute in silence. She wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are cut short and fractured, like those of a working woman.
It was taken with a trigate not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
黙ったまま女の表情を観察する。
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
どう思う？
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points.
星
Stars.
知ってるわけじゃないのか？
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
夜空に浮かぶ星みたいなもんか？
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
この地図にはどんな意味があったんだ？
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
死んだ男はどんな旅をしてきてるんだ？
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese
あ
capital.
あ、そういうのはわ
Traditionally
か
stands
る
on
ん
the
だ。
right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this,
そこはどこにあたる？
Revachol.
うーん。
Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
肩がフレデフォートで心臓がレバショール。
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
もっと詳しい話ができるやつはいそうか？
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
どうする？聞く？聞かない？おすすめできないって。それはそれ、これはこれ。聞こ
Do what you have to do, Detective Dubois.
う。うん。
I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
We will be careful, ma'am.
タトゥーに関しては以上だ。ご協力感謝する。
Is there anything else I can help you with?
あとこれね。これは、まあ、直接事件とは関係なかったような気もするから、一旦今日のところはここで立ち去ろう。よし。こっからバルコニー、ここだ。で、どこだったっけ？あ、ここ、あ、いた急にポーズ取った。
Gendarmerie, you found me.
うん、明るく笑いだって。
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds.
石の下に鍵が隠してあったあんたのものか？
It was mine. My friends use it from time to time to visit me.
何やらきらめいて見える。
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
うーん。 そうだな。そうしようと努力をしている。
Beautiful. I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
サンデーフレンド。ところでここは景色が素晴らしいな。
Mm-hmm. That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
Wait. Suddenly you are digging things?
わかった、そいつの話を聞こう。だがまずはあんたと話がしたい。聞きたいことが山ほどある。
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up, one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again.
行くってどこへ？
To the city. It's a beautiful night.
今度話を聞かせてくれると約束するなら構わない。大事なことなんだ。
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not
Oh.
tonight. Take care, all right?
サンデーフレンドに事情聴取しろ。
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
はっきりとはわからないんだが、彼は他の人間とは全く違う何かを持ってるな。
Different, of course.
もちろんそうだろうね。なんか知ってんのか？喋り方や動きがとにかく謎めいている感じで、
Something so mysterious about the way he talks.
ものすごく謎めいている。
Very.
何私だけ分かってないの。
He's barely holding it together. It's all he can do to keep from bursting out in laughter.
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
キム、教えてよ。どういうことなんだろう。おお。なんかスーツ着た人が。ビジネス機関士。空っぽの灰皿。鍋の中につけ置きされた食器。アングラパーティーのビラ。なんか一人でずっと喋ってるけど、ちょっと先にね。地元の大学で行われる公開講座の日程。同じ集合住宅の古い写真、01年に撮影されたもの。男性向けの高価な香水の匂いが漂っている。古い新聞紙を重ねた上に塗料の入ったバケツが置かれている。精巧に作られた天蓋付きの金属製のベッド。サマラの傘。パーティードラゴンのシルクのローブ。何それ？パーティードラゴンのシルクのローブ。こっちか。論理。 これ論理プラ2なんだよね。すごいよね。これはこれはちょっとひどいな。シャツを変えようか。まあ、これかな。これ、網網だったの？メッシュ地って書いてあった。ああ、そう。やばいね、これね。それネクタイしてんの？ネクタイもなんか他なかったっけ？蝶ネクタイにしよっか。靴はまず、靴？靴。これ履くとティーンってなるの何？これは？これ何？ティーンってなるのなんだろうな。まあいいや。ひどいね。でも演劇プラ4だって。うん。後からでは会えない。なるほど。
You look down at the white ceramic sabatons,
おー、なるほど
hugging
ね。
arches and calves, surprised at how well they fit.
このティーンか。
Your movements cause tiny little clicks, like dice rolling somewhere far away, as the plates reorient to your motions.
これを使うのは責任が伴う。見せびらかすためじゃなく、危険から身を守るために使ってるんだ。
The hardened vitreous enamel, at once sleek and light, adds a glow to your cheeks and a spring to your step. Just imagine what a full suit of this stuff could do for you. You really do feel more confident. Invulnerability does that. Even partial invulnerability.
うん。これで一つ、残るは二つ。あれ二つなの？二つってことは私も手持ってるけどな。あとヘルメット？
Two? Are you sure you're correct there?
あ、だよね。
There was a helmet too. 3 pieces more like. You were ambitious.
ヘルメットと同装備でフル装備か。惜しいね。
It may be a while before you have all the pieces. In the meantime, you should analyze the armor. Figure out its vulnerabilities.
弱点。
Remember, this is a highly specialized kinetic redistributor meant to stop bullets. Wear it. Observe its properties. See if there's a weakness in the design. For the day you have to fight someone covered in the same material.
なるほど。これは、覚えとこうか。フェアウェザー。最角マイナス1。内面化。よし。今は結論を急ぐべきではないと思う。どういうこと？
You have acquired the hat. Keep it, officer. It looks good on you.
帽子を手に入れたようだな。刑事さんに差し上げるよ。よく似合ってる。
His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
帽子。
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur la Clé. I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
友人って感じしないけどね。本題に入る前に、見事な天蓋付きのベッドについてどうしても聞いておきたい。
Oh yes. My friend has a great eye for these things. He refuses to tell me where it came from. It's a mystery. I believe they call this type of frame industrial. That's really all I can tell you about it.
これ以上語れることはない？
The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
これね。これ、豚、天蓋か。天蓋付きのベッド。でも天蓋付きとは言ってもなんか、嬉しくない。もうちょっと華やかなね、こう、お姫様が寝るようなものなんじゃないの普通は。続けろという合図。リンチの現場を実際に目撃したのか？
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
探していた手がかりにようやくたどり着いたな。
Easy, detective. No need to jump to conclusions.
よかったら最初からすべて話をしてくれ。
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Interesting.
どんな奴らだった？特徴は？
I couldn't see their faces well, and there were quite a few of them. But they were very loud and very Martinez. Let's just say that the laboring classes can get rather expressive with their profanities.
何人くらいいたんだ？
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10.
おう、
Maybe 8?
いい
The
ね。
lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
その中に図体の大きなやつはいたか？ 200 キロくらいありそうな。
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell.
その後はどうした？
I went back inside.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
奴らは男だったか女だったか？
All men, I presume.
え？
But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
But we are fairly certain the lady driver was present.
女は一人もいなかったと断言できるか？
It's possible, officer, but I cannot say with certainty. It was very dark, you must remember.
コイコやキプトだったか？おかしな顔をした写真のやつはいなかったか？これ、選択すると気力減りそうだな。
Those funny... Oh, officer.
だよ
Kind of
ね。
language is unbecoming of an officer of the RCM. I believe they were mostly
あ、減らなか
white,
った。
though I believe I saw two Aeropagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent.
その後はどうした？
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
何も起こらなかったとはどういう意味だ？連中はリンチをしたんだぞ。
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
なるほど、それは確かに妙だ。
I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
もう一度確認させてほしい。あんたは男が吊るされるところを実際には見てないんだな。
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
It seems this wasn't the break you were hoping for.
そうね。
I think we have everything we need. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Villedroin.
Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM.
あんたのような役人がなぜマルティネーズに？
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled. The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
なるほど。だが知りたいのはこの部屋で何をしているかだ。
Ah, well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
つまり一種の官僚のようなものだと？
Yes, as I said before, I'm a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stability. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Inter.
国際社会とは？
La communauté internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
つまり俺にとって連合とは？
Your employer, technically speaking. The governing authority of Revachol. The RCM is but one part of this provisional administration.
絶対的に安定した価格とは？
It is the most important thing.
答えになってない。
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment, which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stability works to keep inflation just below 2%.
何が 2% 以下なんだ？
But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
俺の質問の答えになってない。
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
パンフレット。では早速なのでいただこう。
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the moral inter. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today. That's too bad. You can always call our information. Making
本当
information
か
available is
な？
part of the moral intern's commitment to
この
transparency.
人。国際倫理機関のことは聞いたことがあるが、詳しく教えてほしい。
It's the International Organization for Moralists, hence Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
ん？したか。どっちも一緒だな。つまり俺たちは国際倫理機関の下で働いてるんだな。悪いことではなさそうだ。
There are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
あんたも論理主義者か？
But of course,
何を根拠に？
because moralists believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values.
警部補、あんたは論理主義者か？
Me?
You've managed to catch the lieutenant off guard, but only for a moment. He quickly recomposes himself.
I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Revachol.
A very moralist answer.
マルティネーズは正常とも安定とも無縁に思えるが。
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
レバショールの他の地域はどうだ？正常な世界の一部か？
Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
うん。人と話をするたびに選択肢 D。どれも当てはまらないになってしまうんだが、それも論理主義なのか？難しいなぁ。労働者階級が資本に支配されている限り、民主主義など無意味な茶番に過ぎん。いやー。俺はにしとくか。自分のことを話そう。俺は論理主義者じゃない。論理主義はひどく退屈そうだ。もっと活動的な方がいい。
Do you think peace is boring? What about prosperity?
うん。いや、平和はいいものだと思う。
Exactly. I don't find it boring. I find it fulfilling. Peace is what allows me to have my morning coffee, my afternoon golf, my sundown friends. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
スルラクレについて教えてくれ。
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
レバショールがなぜスルラクレの仲間なんだ？
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its language, its people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur-la-Clé's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
仕事の話はもう結構話題を変えよう。
Whatever you wish, officer.
あんたの友人について聞きたい。
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
ケドラとは？
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
どういう意味だ？
That it's never going to happen. They enter negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
EPIS とは？
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see. It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success.
なるほど。
Emboldened
あれ
to
ま
take
だ
EPIS to the next
ま
level.
だ喋ってた。なるほど。だがどういう意味なんだ？
Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole.
そうではなく、それぞれの文字は何の略なんだ？
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
俺の質問を全く聞いてないようだな。
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
ここと似たようなものになるのか？
You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy.
レバショールもやがては EPIS の一員になるのか？
It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS, sure.
候補が正式な加盟国になることはないと言ったよな。
No, no, candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation. But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
そもそもあんたらはどうやって親しくなった？
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Insulindian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night, civil wars lasting for years. Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
一体何の話だ？そんなことで誰かと友達になれるわけがない。
Au contraire, it's how millions of people end up where they are, meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here, and my friend too.
彼がどういう人間なのかまだ何も聞けていないが。
Sorry, who?
あんたの友人だよ。バルコニーでタバコを吸っていた青年。彼の話をしていたはずだが。
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
で、彼の本名は？
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
では彼について話せるのはここで美術の勉強をしていることだけだと。
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes.
具体的な専攻は？
He's a truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide
知らないんじゃん。
to talented youth like him.
なぜ一人で彼の部屋にいる？
I'm just enjoying the view.
景色、外は真っ暗だが。
Listen.
The baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
どこかで赤ん坊が泣いている。
No, listen. The Insulindian Bay.
あんたの友人の話をしていたはずだが。
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you've seen him around. He's a busy bee.
他に聞きたいことがある。
I'm all ears, officer.
もうないか。ありがとう、話は以上だ。結局友人について何もわからなかったな。
My friend,
Oh?
my friend. What about? I'm just enjoying the
あなたを一人で置いていくなんて失礼な友人じゃないか？
We're old friends. Nothing's taboo between us. He comes and goes.
そうか。
I'm sure you'll see him around. He's very active.
また会える。
I'm all ears, officer.
ありがと
A
う。
moment,
Oh?
officer. Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
後で話せないってのはなんでだ？
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
どこにも行きやしない。ただこの建物を見て回りたいだけだ。
Sure, go ahead. It's a beautiful space. Let me know if you have any further questions. Was there anything else?
うん。
Of course. I'm sorry.
終わりだ。出ます。出たら？出ても入れる。
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security.
あ、もう入れない。
No one answers.
あら、
Let's go. There's nothing to do here for us anymore.
そうですか。なんか帽子って言ってたな。帽子って言うと、ディック・ミューレン。これはあの女の子にもらったから、このこと？この帽子のこと？あ、そう。まあ、確かに。あそこでゲットした帽子をかぶってしまっているから。うん。まあ、収穫ゼロとは言わないけど。そこまで重要な話は聞けなかったな。よし、じゃあキムとは今日はおさらばしましょうか。実際問題何時ぐらいまでこれ調査できんだろうね。